WHO is beyond 6 months of their initial doses. White House officials say it may be 2 weeks before key questions are answered, including whether the Omicron variant can evade vaccines. The president tonight reassuring Americans that new lockdowns are off the table. Our team is in place with the very latest, starting with Gabe Gutierrez.
Tonight, with the new COVID variant Omicron spreading around the world, President Biden says he's not considering any widespread U.S. lockdown.
This variant is a cause for concern, not a cause for panic.
The president, after huddling with public health advisors over the weekend, now says the White House is working with vaccine manufacturers to develop vaccines or boosters against Omicron if needed.
The best protection against this new variant or any of the variants out there, the ones we've been dealing with already, is getting fully vaccinated and getting a booster shot.
Tonight, the CDC is stressing that people 18 and older should get a booster. It comes as the Biden administration's new travel restrictions for 8 South African countries take effect. They bar foreign visitors to the U.S., but not American citizens trying to get home. Other countries such as Israel, Morocco, and Japan are launching even more drastic as the Biden administration's new travel restrictions for 8 South African countries take effect. They bar foreign visitors to the U.S., but not American citizens trying to get home. Other countries such as Israel, Morocco, and Japan are launching even more drastic steps, banning all travelers as a growing list of countries confirm Omicron cases, including Canada. Today, New York City reinstituted its indoor mask advisory, regardless of vaccination status.
We have notification that it has arrived in Ontario, which is literally across the bridge from where I live. I can see Canada from my house.
But with stranded passengers at Johannesburg's airport, South Africa's president says that global travel restrictions are an overreaction. Some doctors there saying the variant's symptoms are mild.
Our hospitals overwhelmed? No.
But there are mounting questions about Omicron's transmissibility, resistance to vaccines, and severity of symptoms. Here's what we know so far. Based on very limited evidence from South Africa, this new strain appears to be highly contagious. Here's what we don't know. Whether the variant is more deadly than previous ones, and whether our existing vaccines work as well against it. All 3 manufacturers in the U.S. are testing them right now.
It's highly likely that there will be loss of vaccine efficacy and effectiveness, but whether we will really have to tweak the current vaccines, we just don't know. We have to wait, I think, for a couple of weeks until we get those key data.
Moderna's chief medical officer says an Omicron-specific vaccine could take months to manufacture.
Should Americans start getting used to the idea that they may need a COVID vaccine or COVID booster perhaps every year, much like the flu shot?
I think so, Gabe. These beta coronaviruses, we see this, they become endemic. They just remain in societies.
Realistically, how soon can we expect to see a confirmed Omicron case here in the U.S.?
Tomorrow.
The White House says the U.S. is sequencing nearly 80,000 samples per week, more than any other country. So it's only a matter of time, Lester.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez in New York tonight. Thank you. As you've heard, some of the first alarm bells about this new variant came from South Africa, where scientists quickly identified it after seeing a COVID surge in an area where cases had dropped off. Richard Engel spoke with one of those scientists.
Gauteng province, which surrounds Johannesburg, is South Africa's most populous district. And it's what's happening here that's triggered alarm in South Africa and now around the world. We've been following Gauteng for over a year, a district of poor townships. Only 24% of South Africa's population is fully vaccinated. Gauteng has been hit by wave after wave of COVID. Cases had dropped off recently because people had already been infected or been vaccinated. Then along came Omicron. Dr. Richard Lessels is one of the first scientists to study the here that's triggered alarm in South Africa and now around the world. We've been following Gauteng for over a year, a district of poor townships. Only 24% of South Africa's population is fully vaccinated. Gauteng has been hit by wave after wave of COVID. Cases had dropped off recently because people had already been infected or been vaccinated. Then along came Omicron. Dr. Richard Lessels is one of the first scientists to study the new variant's genetics.
This is all happening very recently. 3 weeks ago in Gauteng province, the case numbers were around 100. Now they're kind of 2,000, 3,000. We've seen this very rapid rise.
What is it about this variant that worries you?
What we've seen is this kind of very rapid rise in infections. And we've seen that in a part of the country, in a population where we thought that people had a lot of immunity. And the fact that this virus is now spreading so rapidly and so easily, it seems it's a highly transmissible variant, but also that it may well be able to better get around some of the levels of our immune protection.
Cases across South Africa are up 63% since the start of November. Omicron, it seems, is a bee that can sting twice. We still don't know how badly. Anecdotally, doctors and nurses describe symptoms as
All right, I'm going to try and fix
but
it.
many of the cases detected so
Bye.
far